Oh, why am I lagging? Come on. All right, all right, all right. Hey, 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 we are live. Come on in, come on in. Hey, hey, hey. I think I need to up this a little bit because I'm having to look down. So come on in, let us know who you are, where you're joining from. Who you are, where you're joining from, and what you offer to the government. And if you offer it to the private sector as well, let us know that. All right, so come on in, let us know who you are, where you're joining from, and what you offer. What is the thing that you do to make money, or that you're going to do to make money? Let me make sure my volume's up. Check. All right, cool. So come on in, let us know who you are, where you're joining from. If this is your first time, hey, I'm Felicia, and I hang out over at FeliciaStreeter.com, so I'm easy to find, where we talk about everything government, contracting, small business, and the stuff in between. So come on in, let us know who you are, where you're joining from. Today, I'm going to be answering a common question that I get asked all the time, and I can guarantee you most people are not following the steps correctly. So we're going to talk about that today. And I'm just pulling up my notes. So come on in, let us know who you are, where you're joining from. Oh, wrong thing. I need to go to YouTube Live. Here it is. Yay. All right. So I see you guys popping on. Let us know who you are, where you're joining from. And we're going to dive right on in. What are you offering to the government? What do you offer private sector? Let us know. And we're going to talk about a common question that I get asked quite often. And you may be wondering the same thing, or you may have surpassed this, but did it wrong. But hey, if you passed it, that's cool too. You're good to go. So let's talk about these certifications. And the common question I get is just this: do you need a small business certification to win a government contract? What do you guys think in the comments? Let me know. 1 for yes and 2 for no. 1 for yes, 2 for no. Do you need a small business certification to win a government contract? 1 is yes, 2 is no. Let me know. Antonio, hey, welcome, welcome. Antonio says no because he put 2. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. 1 for yes, 2 for no. Do you need a small business certification to win a government contract? Yes or no? No or yes. All right. Well, Antonio seems to be the only one that wants to show up and put an answer in. So, Antonio, he's correct when we look at the broad spectrum of the question, as it is stated. So if we read something into it, we may come up with a different answer. But as I've read the question, the answer is no. If we wanted to get more specific on things that's included in the opportunity, the thing that we're going to be bidding, it could be 1, yes. So it just depends. But how we have it written and the question that's being asked, do you need a small business certification to win a government contract? Antonio is correct. The answer is no. Hey, Telvis. Telvis is here. Welcome, welcome. I think this is your first time and you also said no, so you're correct. Cameron, I remember you. You were here once before. Welcome, welcome, welcome. All right. So there you have it. So that's the first thing. No, you do not. Here's what I want you to look at, though, when you think about this. And this is for my replay viewers as well, because you guys are constantly asking this question. And it has you stuck. And you're not moving through the process as you should. And definitely not nearly as fast as you should. So here's the thing. All opportunities do not require that you need a certification. That's the first thing. All opportunities are not set aside for a particular certification either. Okay, so in case you didn't know that. I know a lot of people push getting your certifications, and I do too. You do need to have them, but I'm saying don't let them stop you from moving through the process. And then for you guys, if it's anybody listening, maybe you're not a minority, you're not a service disabled vet, so you can't hold a particular certification. Still, there's opportunities out there for you as Antonio said, you don't need a certification to win a government contract. Just some of them require it, but not all of them. Okay. Now, if you did see something that required a certification, say while you're going through the process, or you're not a minority and you don't qualify for a certification, you could easily partner with a company that have the certification. So even if you do have some of the certifications and not all, but you see an opportunity that's really, really great for you, you could do it. You could just, make it a home run, but you don't have the certification. You could partner with a company that holds the certification. So don't discount that option. And if that is an option you're going to take, then of course, you need to be working on that like all the time. Don't wait until you need it. Okay. It's kind of like meeting somebody for the very first time and asking them to marry you. Probably not going to happen. Okay. So if you think, okay, I need to get these certifications done, I don't want to tackle government at all until I have these certifications, you can for sure look at other types of opportunities. So you can look at the residential, you can go commercial, you can go corporate. So residential, commercial, and corporate. So you can look at those opportunities as well. What you'll find is a lot of opportunities do like to see those certifications because there's some back end benefits to that for the prime or for the company that have the opportunity, but it's not always like it's required or you just have to have it. Okay, it depends on the individual contract and what the requirements are for that particular contract. So I just told you guys, I gave you the green light. Okay, so that means get out there and start finding some opportunities. Now, even with government contracts, although a lot of them we think are set aside for small minority-owned businesses, there's a lot of opportunities that you'll find that are classified or categorized as full and open, which means anybody, anybody can bid those opportunities. And then you also have, the ones that are total small business or small business opportunities. So there's other opportunities you can be looking at. You just need to know what you should be looking for based on where you're at. And it all boils down to your approach and knowing what your capacity is. What are the things that you bring to the table? So here's the question now. Type a 1 in the comment if you have your certifications. If you've already actually received your certifications, type a 1 in the comments. Not that you've submitted them, but you've received them. You're good to go. Type a 1 in the comments. I'm going to give you guys just a second. It just takes one button, 1 submit or 1 enter. All right. Hey, John Murray, he has his certifications. Awesome. Kanisha, awesome. I think that's a girl, maybe. You have, I can see the picture. You have your certification. Cameron, certifications. Awesome. Cool. So some of you guys have your certifications. Some of you do not. No problem. Because here's the thing. The wait is over. Like, you don't have to sit and wait until you get all your certifications to start looking for opportunities to bid and getting some cash flowing into your business. And so here's the thing. If you know anything about the certifications, you do know certifications take what? 60 to 90 days. If you're lucky. Sometimes it takes longer. But who really wants to wait 60 to 90 days or 120 days to get the certification and then start looking for opportunities to bid and then find one to actually bid and then you have to wait for them to award the contract? That's a long period of time. So here's what I'm telling you. You don't have to wait. You don't have to wait until you have those certifications to start making money in your business. Now, I don't know about you, but I know when I first got started, it was important for me to start getting that cash flowing into the business as quickly as possible. Like as quickly as possible. Okay, so I didn't have 90 days, 120 days to just sit and wait on some certifications. That wasn't an option for me. And maybe your situation is different. That's cool. But if your goal is to get your business to cash flow as quickly as possible, the wait is over. what you have to do is get out there, start bidding opportunities, and start making some money. I tell my clients inside my bootcamp, private clients, I always tell them, you work on the paperwork and the back end while you're simultaneously bidding, winning, and working on projects, because you need the cash flowing as quickly as possible, as often as possible. Because what happens is a lot of you guys will get discouraged after, 60 days, 90 days, and you have no money flowing into your business. But the real question is, okay, well, what are you doing to have the money flowing into your business? So if you're just doing paperwork, building your website, all this back end stuff, which is great, it needs to take place, but you still need to allot time to do those income producing activities. And that is finding opportunities to bid and actually knowing how to bid contracts so you can win them. And then also knowing how to deliver on the contracts once it's awarded to you. So you need to spend even more time on that than you're doing on just paperwork and building up your back end. All right, so let's see what you guys got in the comments. Mr. Imperfection says, getting my 145C in the mail. Candy Girls, hey, I believe this is your first time. Welcome from Iowa. Never had anyone from Iowa. How cool. Gino, hey, glad to have you. Finally got on a live. Well, good. All right, awesome. So now you guys all have the green light to get started bidding contracts now. So we're going to open it up for Q&A. If you have any questions on your certifications or anything like that, go ahead, start popping those into the chat so we can answer some questions, open it up for Q&A. But I do want to encourage you guys, you should start bidding opportunities. You do know, I hope you know this, that today is what, October 6th. So the government is getting ready to put out their new forecast for this 2020-2021 fiscal year. There's a lot of opportunities in there. You need to know who's your customer so that you can go use the forecast, find those opportunities that is a good fit for you. You'll know who's your customer, right? Because they'll be putting out the type of work that you're looking for. And in the forecast, it'll actually tell you when those opportunities will come out. So remember, we talked about not having your certifications, how you can partner with another company, or you can do some, full and open, total small business, private sector work. You could definitely go up under a prime and be their subcontractor. So there's variations to how you can do it. But having that forecast, knowing who's your customer, will be a great benefit, because if you need to build some relationships for a particular opportunity that's coming out in the near future, you'll have time to do that because you know exactly what you need this relationship for. Well, not exactly, but as much information as they give you about the opportunity that's coming out. And so you guys can work on that and fill in any deficiencies that you may have so that you have a great chance at winning that opportunity. So don't discount that. Okay. I want you guys to all commit to including some marketing activities and business development activities into your daily, weekly schedule. And if you need help with that, I believe last week, the live I did last week, I talked about marketing activities for contractors and scheduling things. So you can go back and watch that video. All right, so let's dive into the Q&A. If you have any questions, go ahead, pop them over in the chat. And we're going to answer some questions for you guys. Also, I know some of you guys, this is your first time. So definitely go ahead, subscribe to the channel. That way you won't miss the lives. They'll pop up for you when I go live. If you turn on the notification bell, you'll get the notification up in the right-hand corner. And then, if you like this video, what we're talking about, this topic today, go ahead and like the video. All right, so let's dive into some Q&A. Let me see where we're at. Okay, so Gino says, is it a good idea to take a contract in another state? Well, Gino, I don't know. That would depend on you. So that would depend on your capacity and your ability to deliver on whatever they're asking for in another state. Can you do that? Now, ideally, there's nothing wrong with taking an opportunity in another state if you can deliver on what they're asking for. The easier way to answer that is to know what your business preferences are, to know what your capacity is, and then you're able to really look at the scope, see what they're asking, and it's a simple no or yes or no. And that's one of the things I teach you guys inside the Contractors Edge Bootcamp. If you've looked at the sales page, I tell you, like, everything is laid out step by step. So in order to answer this question, Gino, what would happen is you would have went through module 1, and you would know what your business preferences are. You would know what your capacity is. You would know who's your customer. And then when you look at this, and I don't know the details of this opportunity you're referring to, if it's one particular, but if it comes in the future, whatever, you'll know how to look at it real quickly and see if it makes sense for you. Can you be profitable at this opportunity with it being out of state? Because, you know, if it's out of state, you're going to have some type of travel cost or something involved, whether it's you or your team, however you decide to lay that out. But yeah, the answer is yes, you can take projects out of state for sure. Most of my contracts on the construction side has been out of state. It just happens like that. So I always say, if it makes dollars, it makes sense. And you just need to know how to look at it to see if it makes dollars first. And then you can decide, okay, yes, it makes sense. Let me see. Candy says, where do you get certified? So it depends on what certifications you're applying for. You can go to the government website, the SBA website for federal certifications. And then within your state, you can just search your state website or search Google for your state. And then you can say, for example, let me see, Candy, I'm going to gather you're a lady. So you could search whatever state you're in, say Alabama. So you can search Alabama MWBE certification, or Alabama WOSB certification, whatever certification you're looking for. Basically, you put your state, and then you can put that state local certification in there as well. And then some things will pop up, and you can pick one of those to proceed with your certification. So usually it's through your state at the state level, and it's through the federal at the federal level. And then they'll point you in the direction or give you the link to do the certification, that kind of thing. Okay, Mr. Imperfection. Well, what is your name? But he says, what certifications do I need for my trucking logistics company? So it's not necessarily based on your company. So a lot of times what happens is people look at certifications and relate it to what they actually do, what they're actually offering, how they're making money. And the certifications that we're talking about is more so based on social economic classifications. So it has nothing to do with that you have a trucking company and this other person, somebody up here, Candy, has a janitorial service. So it's not based on that. It's based on the social economic classifications that you hold. So if, for example, you have trucking and logistics, and say, for example, within your state, they're probably not necessarily certifications, but maybe some certificates or licenses that you may need to hold that's required by your state, then one, I would say check with your state. But keep in mind, those are not the same thing as the certifications that we're talking about here. Let me see. Okay, so now the certifications that we're talking about is the most common certification. So we're talking about woman-owned certification, where that's if you have a woman-owned business. Your DBE certification if you're a disadvantaged business enterprise. MBE, minority business enterprise. You have your service disabled veteran if you're a service disabled veteran owned business. What did I forget? 8A certification, where you would apply for the 8A certification. And if you're here, most of you guys aren't ready for the 8A certification. You have your hub zone certification, which is at the federal level, and that's based on location and where you're located, and if that area is classified as a hub zone area. And then in most states, you also have your state hub certification, which is a state certification. So I hope that answers your question. And in the coming weeks, we actually have a certification expert coming to join us. So that'll be cool. So Gino does courier service. I like that. Years ago, I used to work for a company, long time ago. And the work they did, they used the courier service a lot. I was like, gosh, I didn't even realize it. So they had a, courier service that did like the downtown area. I'm sure they were making a killing. So for you, Gino, that's just to say you don't only have to do it for the government, but you can do it in the private sector as well and probably make a killing. Okay, so John says, how do you get government experience if you don't have any? Well, that's another common question that I get asked quite often. And I'm sure there's a video here on my channel, so you should look at that for sure because I probably talked about the subject and nothing else. So you're going to get more detail. Basically, what has to happen is a lot of times, depending on what you're offering to the government, they may, they may want to see, let me find it. They may want to see past performance, government experience. And so remember I talked about partnering with another company earlier. So that's one of the ways you can get some government experience. Now, this is usually on larger contracts and contracts that have a lot of liability. If you're offering a product, a lot of times you don't have to have past performance or government experience in providing a product. And then there's also contracts that are under 25,000. Some of them are micro, 3,000, 5,000, that kind of thing, where they're not looking for that government experience as they would on the larger contracts. And I did a video on that as well, on those smaller contracts and looking into those. So you can definitely check that out on the channel as well. So that's how you would, build your past performance, is really being a subcontractor. So subbing up under a prime on some government projects will give you the government experience. Okay. Okay. Let's see. So Candy says, how do I get started? I have my cage code. Congratulations. But I don't know what to do now. So, well, let me read the rest of it. How do I find bids small enough for my business if it's just me and my husband doing all of the janitorial services? So here's what I would say, Candy. Let me break this down. How do I get started? So what do you do now? So you have your cage code. Next thing is applying for all the certifications for which you qualify. And then you need to find your customer, find opportunities to bid, start bidding contracts, win some contracts, deliver on your promise, rinse and repeat. So that's the process. Now, how do I find bids? Finding bids that's small enough. Again, you would need to know your capacity and what's small for you, because what I consider as small and you consider as small could be two different things. So you need to know what small means for you. And then you can definitely look at the video I did on those micro contracts, those small contracts under 25,000. That's a area you could do. You can also go up under a prime and then do a portion of the work. And you could also go up under a construction company, because most of construction projects need cleaning. So then you could do the cleaning portion of that contract. So there's ways to find smaller contracts, a lot of times, depending on what you offer, wrapped into larger contracts. And then you can also just look for smaller contracts that you're able to do yourself, whether that's in the government, like federal government, state government, city, local, county government, corporations, dentist's office, doctor's office, daycares, whatever it is you want to do. Okay. Let's see. Cameron says, is this a question? Let me see. Okay, so Cameron says, I want to change the name of my other business. which is registered in SAM, but not certified. Should I wait to change my name and certify, or change the name first and then certify? So I'm going to gather you're saying is you're already registered in SAM, but you want to do a name change. So if you do a name change, you have to do everything over again. So not just SAM registration, you're going to have to change the name. If you have an LLC, you're going to have to do a name change there. Then you're going to have to, talk to the IRS, see if you need a new tax ID number. If that's the case, then you're going to need a new bank account. You're going to have to get a new DUNS number. So you'll have to backtrack and do everything over again. Then do your SAM registration again, because the name will be different. And then you'll apply for your certification. So if you're going to change anything, you might as well do that first before doing your certifications, because you're going to have to change the certifications, because if you get them, they're going to be under the company name of something different, and then you change it. So now you have to do that over again too. So definitely figure out what you want to do there, and then go back, set everything up as you want it to be, and then move forward. I think somebody wanted to show their email address. So, okay, there it is. Mr. Imperfection. Okay, Mr. Imperfection, what is your name? Tell us your name. And then also tell me, what do you mean by get a business account? Because your question says, should I get a business account before I register in SAM? Tion. Okay, so what business account are you referencing? What type of business account? Are you talking about a business bank account, a credit account? So yeah, let's come back to that. Okay, so Gino says, when I changed my business name, I changed it on DNB and it updated on the SAM registration. Okay, so I would check, Gino, with the IRS. Because if you have your tax ID number, they probably have it under the old name if you didn't go back and change that, right? And then also your business bank account, unless you changed it, it's still under the old name as well. So just backtrack and make sure everything is what it should be. Okay, so Tian is asking, should you get a business bank account before you register in SAM? So here's the process. One, you decide, okay, I'm going to start this business. You get your name, then you get your LLC or whatever entity structure you're going to use. Then you can get your tax ID number. Then you get your you get your tax ID number. You can open up your bank account. Then you get your DUNS number. Then you apply for the SAM registration. So that's the order I would do that in. So yes, you want your business bank account. Okay. Any other questions? Any other questions on government contracting? Where are you at? Are you stuck? What do you need to know to move forward? The goal is to get you guys moving and in action and making some things happen. Because let me tell you, when you're in movement, things will happen. When you're standing still, not so much. So if you have any final questions, go ahead and pop those in. And I do want to tell you guys that, it is October. Can you believe it? I know I'm in Texas. We're still in the high 80s, 90s. We're on something different here. But it is October, which means now we have just under 90 days before the year ends. And I don't know if you've been, if you guys have been hanging around, paying attention. The last session of the Contractors Edge Bootcamp is happening next month, November. And then that's it for the rest of this year. So if you've been looking at the Contractors Edge Bootcamp, you want to get your business going. You need the help. You've been thinking about joining. If you want to hit the first year off with all of this stuff done and actually just being out there bidding, winning contracts, then definitely check out the bootcamp, because the last session is going to start next month, November. And then that's it for 2020. We'll have to look at 2021. So it's really a matter of asking yourself, is now your time? Are you ready to actually do this, take action, and get the help if you need it? So just remember that. And of course, it always fills up. We're only taking 30 students, as we always do. First come, first serve. And then, you have to wait until next year, 2021. All right, let's see what other questions we have. Gino says, I think that's Fed Biz Connected, maybe. Is that website a great website to advertise your business to the government? I don't know. What are you gonna do there to advertise your business specifically? Is my question. Fed Biz Connect. Yeah. So what are you gonna do? Like, I don't teach my clients to do paid advertisement, though. I can tell you that we don't start there. We like to get the money flowing in first before we just flowing out. Okay. So yeah. But how would you position your business on there to get a result is my question, if you know. Hey, Hector, welcome. So Hector says, if you are a sub with certification, does your certifications apply to the agency certification goal? If that makes sense. Yeah, I know exactly what you're saying. So Hector's asking, so agencies have contracting goals that they set every year. Hence, beginning of the fiscal year, they've set their contracting goals for this 2021 fiscal year as it relates to the social economic classifications, woman-owned, service disabled vet, total small business, 8A, hub zone, those various classifications. And so when they award a contract to a prime that hold one of those certifications, the government gets credit for that. And it helps them meet their contracting goals with women-owned businesses, service disabled vet, and the likes. So what happens a lot of times, especially on larger contracts, so if you're doing small contracts and you're not subbing out and things like that, you may not have experienced this yet. But I know from personal experience on larger contracts, when we sub out work, which on the larger ones, most of the time, you don't do everything yourself anyway. You're going to sub it out. Then what happens is, if I hold, say, for example, the service disabled vet certification, the government will get credit for awarding X amount of dollars to this, that classification that I hold. Now, on a larger contract where I have a subcontracting plan, subcontracting goals that I have to meet in correlation to this project, then I may sub work out to a woman-owned business, right? And so, yes, that'll carry over to the agency saying so many dollars of this particular opportunity went to a woman-owned business, even though they were a sub. So yes, they get credit for that. And actually, my video that's coming out Thursday, I can't remember the exact name, but it's about subcontracting plans, because we got to start thinking forward down the road. And as you start getting into government contracting, growing your business, whether you're on large contracts or not, if you plan to sub out a portion of the work, like I think somebody said, it's just them and their husband in the chat over here. And so they know they can only do X, Y, Z. But what if they decided to sub out some of the work, or sub it out to another company, hire independent contractors or whatever? Then they should start working on their subcontracting plan so that they have it in place when they need it. So yeah, they get credit. Okay, so I don't see any final questions. I'm going to put the link to the Contractors Edge Bootcamp. I always encourage you guys, if you haven't checked it out, definitely check it out. And then if you want to join us, go ahead and join us. Love to have you. In the bootcamp, we help you walk through your business preferences, looking at your capacity, how to increase your capacity, how to find your customer. And when I say how to do these things, like you're actually doing them. So you'll find your customer, you'll read the forecast. This is a great time of year because they're just coming out. And so you can prepare for all of the next 4 quarters, all the way through October or September 2021. You'll learn how to bid contracts, how to put together your bid process, how to read the solicitations, pull the requirements out. We focus a lot on the scope of work and being able to decipher that, and writing proposals and teaming with other companies. So we cover all that inside the boot camp. So it's really, everything you need to know to get your first bid done fast. Okay. All right. So I think we have one final question or two here before we wrap up. Gino says, would being an independent contractor work as past performance? Yes. You did it. If it was you, yeah. Past performance, yeah. Because you could be a subcontractor. They're just paying you 1099 versus a W-2. Candy says, how do I find construction companies that need cleaning services? So Candy, one, I'm going to tell you to definitely search and, watch the videos on the channel, because I talk a lot about this, because a lot of times people miss out on this. But you can look for prime contractors that are in construction and just reach out to them, because trust me, if they're building, they're cleaning. Think about it. Anytime, if they're doing a remodel, they're tearing up some stuff, it needs to be cleaned. If they're building something new, I mean, there's dust everywhere. Think about it. So they always have the cleaning services on the back end of their projects. You can go out networking. You can look on LinkedIn. I mean, there's a lot of different ways to find construction companies, but I think I just gave you 4 or 5. All right. All right. So there you have it. Don't forget, if you want to get in on the boot camp, the last session starts November for 2020. And that's a great way for you to get my help, get my support. And when you sign up, you get immediate access to the training modules. What I love about it is when people sign up early, what happens is a lot of them come to the live sessions, either want a contract already or waiting to hear back, and then they win contracts during the live session. So it's really cool that the content helps people get their first bid done, but also get a return on their investment, because once you learn the process, it's really rinse and repeat. Rinse and repeat. So it's really, really cool. All right. Anything else? We're going to wrap it up here. All right, so we're going to wrap it up here. Thank you guys for coming, hanging out. Remember, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, do that. Turn on the notification bell, so when I go live, you'll get notified. When I drop new videos, you'll get notified. And what you're going to find is, over time, I pretty much cover most of your questions in a video. So if you get notified, then you can kind of see them as they happen, or you can always go back and watch the replays, because they're here on the channel. You can binge watch as well. Go ahead and like this video if you haven't did that. And then just remember, here's the thing. Remember, you're just one contract away. One contract can be a game changer. Just one. And so the goal is to get you to the one, because trust me, once you get to the one, the rest of them, it'll get easier and easier. So just, let's get the first one done and then take it from there. All right. So until next time, I'll see you guys right back here real soon. Bye for now. And